You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
A Super Smiley Adventure is brought to you by State Farm.
I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley. I have a cat, 2 sweets, the travel kitty, and a big girlfriend, Angel's really pretty. I have a pony and we share a big horse. We have a big yard. Yeah, we have to, of course. I have a pool. In the summer I stay cool to a fountain, live in the mountain, live high on the hog. Need to be a spokes dog. I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley.
Woof and Super Smiles. Welcome to a Super Smiley Adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world. I'm Megan Blake, the pet lifestyle coach, here with my possum sidekick, Super Smiley, the ambassador of kindness for the Animal Film Festival. As the pet lifestyle coach, I travel the country with Smiley, helping people adopt the right pet for their lifestyle and then help train them so they keep that pet forever. And Super Smiley, as the ambassador of kindness, works with inner city kids with his Kindness with Super Smiley program, teaching kids kindness through animals. And now he's planting the seeds of kindness and sharing kindness around the world with his little film short, where this shelter dog discovers his inner mutt superhero for kindness. Mark Winter, our producer here on Pet Life Radio, wrote and produced Smiley's new kindness song for the film based upon my and Smiley's belief that animals are healers and teachers. Smiley wrote one of the verses too, and that's on iTunes now, so that's way, way cool. And the animation is done by the mega award-winning Out of Our Minds Animation Studios. So thank you, Mark Winter, and Out of Our Minds. And it's at kindnessfilms.com, so watch it and then share it to share kindness around the world. And here on a Super Smiley Adventure, on our show, we explore adventures where animals lead. They can be journeys for animal advocacy, for adventure and fun, and they almost always lead to paths of inner discovery and greater bonding with our pets. And today is super special. It is super special. We're having an amazing show for 2 huge reasons. First, we are officially welcoming our new sponsor, State Farm Insurance. Did you all know that State Farm is an amazing advocate for dogs? They actually provide the funding, the administration, and the acquisition for arson dogs. Then they train the human dog teams, and they so honor these amazing working dogs. We love and so respect our arson dogs and our firefighters, especially here in Malibu, where we have been evacuated several times during firestorms. So we realize how extremely important these dogs are. State Farm also works on bite prevention programs across the country. They don't discriminate against specific breeds, and they are sharing bite prevention training along with the fabulous Victoria Stillwell. Victoria was just touring with State Farm, sharing information about bite prevention, and she also talked about kindness. State Farm and Victoria are officially supporting Super Smiley's kindness film, and we are just so excited to be teaming with this beautiful new pack who does so much for humans and animals. So a big thank you and welcome to State Farm. And our second reason that we're so excited about our show today is our guest. I just adore our guest. I met Christi Metropole when I was emceeing the SNP LA event honoring the amazing work of best friends Francis Batista. And I can honestly say that Christi is one of the brightest lights on the planet when it comes to animal advocacy. And you all know I speak from my heart. Christi Metropole is the executive director and founder of Stray Cat Alliance based here in Los Angeles. She's empowered and inspired thousands of community members and hundreds of volunteers to save and care for over 150,000 cats. And now she's going stronger than ever. She's spearheading the no-kill movement, community spay-neuter programs, and helping free roaming cats. She works hands-on right there with the cats and through public policy for humane legislation. Her leadership has been recognized by world-recognized esteemed foundations like the Annenberg, Found Animals, Petco, PetSmart Charities, Best Friends Animal Society, Mary Jo and Hank Greenberg. And I could just go on and on and on, but let's just get right to it right now. Welcome, Christi Metropole, to a Super Smiley Adventure. Welcome, Christi.
Well, thank you, Megan. That was quite the introduction, and I'm very flattered. Thank you so much.
Oh, Christi, well, we love you, and I really mean that. I wish everyone in my audience could see you right now, because Christi is just such a light, not only with her work and what she puts out there into the world, but you do, Christi, you just beam. You just see it. So we're so honored that you are here today, and your bio and your mission, your influence is massive. So I just want you to sum it up. How would you sum up your mission with the Stray Cat Alliance?
Well, that's an awesome question, and how I would sum it up is we're here to save cats. We're here to change the landscape for cats. We advocate for cats, and really changing people's hearts and minds who didn't see cats before as having any value, and people who do love cats, giving them a voice as well, because there's a lot of people in communities that traditionally didn't have resources for cats, and the old philosophy was, well, those people don't care about cats. And the truth is that there's a lot of people who do in economically depressed areas. They do care about cats, but they need resources. And there's other people who don't, and I think when they see that there are organizations and there are voices that do speak for the cats, it raises the level and it changes the conversation. And of course, dogs are very important as well. I love dogs. I have dogs. I've rescued dogs. And a lot of people are speaking up for dogs. There's probably 10 dog rescues to every cat rescue. And I think it's really important for people just to understand that we just need to step it up for cats all around.
I love that. I love some of the terms that you use, Christi, that you said you're working to change the landscape. And that is always a foundation in any change, any evolution, is to start with the basics, changing the landscape, changing the perceptions. And like you said, sometimes these cat colonies can almost become invisible, meaning that people just overlook them. They just see them in the alley and they don't even, I don't know what, it's like it's invisible. Do you know what I'm saying there?
I know exactly what you're saying. And what people don't really understand, and it's very profound, is that in communities where spay-neuter resources aren't available and maybe even pet stores aren't available, you will see people who have cats and all the other things, medical, and they don't really know how to take care of them, or they have this feeling like the cats can take care of themselves.
Yes.
And what happens is and then they don't have the spay and neuter, and then that cat has kittens, and then it keeps happening, and then all of a sudden they're in the alleys and they're next door. And so that cat that's a community cat is part of the community. It started from somebody's pet. And there's these old beliefs that there are quote-unquote feral cats, and they're separate from quote-unquote own cats. But what I tell people is no, they're the same. Sometimes a cat is unsocialized, sometimes they're socialized, sometimes they lived in a house, they got kicked out, or, you know, they were a kitten in an alley and they got adopted. So they're all the same domestic cats. Catus felis is what they're called, and Felis catus. And so they're all the same. And what we need to do to really help cats is bring lots and lots and lots of resources to economically challenged areas, because that's where the vast majority of cats that are on the street and that are not taken care of, the bulk of them are in very poor communities, because in those communities there aren't resources. You can't expect someone to have two jobs and do their best and survive, and also the veterinarian is, you know, an hour away or $500 for a spay. It's not equitable. So our goal, and as we evolve as an organization, we realize that bringing those resources to people who didn't have them is critical to changing the landscape for cats. This is critical because when cats are spayed and neutered and they're healthy, whether they're a community cat, a loosely owned cat, or the cat that sleeps on your pillow, when they're fixed, when they have their shots, when they're healthy, when they're taken to a veterinarian when there's something wrong, the value of the animal and the people in that, you know, surrounding that animal, they see the animal differently. It's much more doable. It's, you know, not a tomcat spraying on your couch. It's completely different. And so that's what we do. We teach people that these cats have value, and we're bringing those resources to economically challenged areas. We are also doing a shelter neuter return, also called Return to Field program at the Long Beach shelter. We're
Yes. I want to ask you about that. Yes, because first let me ask you something else. I definitely want to get to that because it's so important. But you mentioned the economically challenged areas, and Smiley's worked with kids in South LA, South Central LA, and there's so much to be done for cats in that specific area as well. Is that part of your program, I Spayed LA? Can you tell us about that? Tell us about that.
Right. So the I Spayed LA program is a targeted spay-neuter TNR medical wellness program in South Central Los Angeles. We do our best to cover every zip code that feeds into the South LA shelter. Sometimes we have targeted in certain specific zip codes depending on funding. The more funding we have, the more cats we help, and the more families we help. People love these cats. So we believe that when you bring services to a community like South Los Angeles, used to be called South Central, that it becomes accessible, and then people's minds change. And you'll see people who are like, wow, I got my cat fixed, and then I learned that you guys would pay for all the cats in my neighborhood, so I went crazy and I went trapping, and I brought everybody in to be spayed and neutered. You'll see that happen, and that wouldn't have happened if the resource wasn't there. And then that neighbor says, well, wow, all of these cats are fixed, so I don't mind because they're not reproducing and they're not having kittens, and they're healthier, and I'm okay. So the whole landscape starts to change. And then the other neighbor goes, oh, I just got a kitten, and so-and-so got their cat fixed. Let me find out where they got their cat fixed. So everybody's minds are changing.
What you're describing is literally a social restructuring of the humans, which obviously is a social restructuring for the cats, Christi. I love it. I just love it. I was telling everybody that this is a huge mission you're doing, and it is. You are literally changing the world. And there's a huge Saving Pets challenge going on now. We want to hear all about that, right? But let's hear about that right after the break. Smiley, can you wait? Oh, wait, he says to give another shout out to Mark Winter and State Farm. Okay, now you can wait. Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
I'm Smiley the dog. I'm Super Smiley. Let's rock!
State Farm, this is Andrea.
Yeah, what if I get into an accident in, say, Accident, Arkansas?
Anywhere in the U.S., State Farm has you covered.
And if I hit the only tree in Lone Pine, California?
We'll send a tow truck right over.
What if I get dinged in Denton?
North Carolina or Texas?
Both.
Then we'll send 2 trucks.
Well played.
State Farm handles more claims than any other company. Over 35,000 per day. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM and get to a better state.
Listen, cat people, it's just litter. Until you realize those big boxes mean big smells, big messes, and big money. Switch to World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter with concentrated power. It guarantees less smells, less work, all with less litter. Try the small bag that lasts one cat 30 days and you'll realize it's just litter. Unless it's World's Best Cat Litter. Find it at Target, Walmart, and at your local grocery and pet stores.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back on a Super Smiley Adventure with the amazing Christi Metropole, the executive director and founder of the Stray Cat Alliance. And I want to hear about the Savings Pet Challenge, because this is the bottom line of all of this, saving these beautiful animals, finding them homes where they'll live forever. But first, Christi, can you tell us about something that many people may not have heard of, but I think might really bring the point home? The term kitten season. What is that? What does that mean, kitten season?
Well, what it means is there's a lot of kittens in the spring and summer and early fall.
Okay.
And it's usually when we're starting to lose our minds. And in Southern California, it depends on, the weather and the heat and when these cats have kittens. So they usually have them starting March, April, May, June, July, August, and then it tapers off. So in different climates, it's different, and there's just a lot of kittens, and they need to be adopted. And so what we're doing in South LA, and the money we're trying to raise on the Saving Pets Challenge,
yes,
and if
tell us now.
everyone could go to straycatalliance.org, and right there on our website is a big button, and you can push Saving Pets Challenge. And it's a contest we're in, a lot of fabulous organizations, and we want to raise $100,000 with the Saving Pets Challenge by June 4th. So please,
wow, that's coming up so soon too. $100,000 by June 4th.
I know, and this money is going to be used for our I Spay to Lay targeted program, so it's going to help a lot of cats. A lot of people follow us on Facebook as well. If they go to Stray Cat Alliance on Facebook, a lot of people follow Grace, Piper and Prue, Christmas, Kit, Teddy, Petunia and Honey Bear, Nugget, Adriana, Audrey. These are all these cats, and those are just a few of them that people follow. They become like Facebook stars.
And these are your cats that you've saved? These are your cats.
Just just a little bit. I mean, we've done so many more. 15,000 spays and neuters in a little over 3 years in South LA.
15,000 and my gosh.
And that's just the beginning. People think that's a lot. It's actually a lot, but it's not. Like, it's just the tip of the iceberg. And we need help. We can't do it alone, and we can't do it without funding. And so the Saving Pets Challenge, if people go to StrayCatAlliance.org, you'll see that button, and you can start a team, and you can raise funds as yourself for Stray Cat Alliance, or you can just give directly to Stray Cat Alliance, or you can give. There's a picture of Grace on there. It's a really fun challenge, and it's a competition, and we're having fun, and it's going to go to spay and neuter and medically treat and feed and do all these things. And the old paradigm used to be, West Side, wealthy Anglo women going into poor neighborhoods and taking a few animals out, fixing them up and adopting them into wealthier areas. And now what we believe is we want to do everything we can to keep animals in homes. So if you live in an economically depressed area, you know what? You love your animal too. And you're a child and you're in love with your dog or your cat. Like, you deserve services as well, and affordable services. So that's what Stray Cat Alliance believes, that we want people in South LA and they love the cat and they love their community cats. We want to bring services to you so that you can spay and neuter and you can feed and you can medically treat those cats and you can care for them properly like you really would like to, and with services. And it's a big paradigm shift, and that is also changing the landscape for cats, because then everyone will see them as cared for and valuable. And that's what we believe, that cats' lives are valuable. We love them.
Absolutely.
And they matter.
Absolutely. They do. And Christi, again, so many things. You're just giving so much fabulous information. This was why I was so excited for you to be on the show. You were talking about bringing the services to them. How do you do that? Do you have spay neuter trucks, or do you help transport the people? Because your mission, your operation is massive. How do you do this?
So for us, because we're not a massive organization, we wish we were, and one day we will be, the most economically smart way is we contract with veterinarians who are in that area. So we say to somebody calls us and says, I've got a cat. We also have volunteers canvassing, and hey, you have a cat, and we give them a flyer and we give them a pledge, and then they go to the local veterinarian. So it's a local thing. And it's a brick-and-mortar veterinarian, so because you can get a bigger bang for your buck, and we have, they go there, and then we pay for it. And the vet will call us and say, this cat has mange, or they have a broken leg, and we'll pledge money towards that so that
wonderful.
That animal can get the proper care. The veterinarian there is a local vet who owns her own hospital, and she said before we started this, she never saw cats. She saw dogs.
Wow.
And now that we've started that, it's changed again. It's changing the landscape. People are thinking, oh, I can bring a cat to a vet too. That might seem really rudimentary and basic to some people, but it's not. It's just how people thought. It's like, would you bring, would you bring an opossum to a vet? It's not in our consciousness. But bringing cats to a vet, they don't think about it, but now they are. And she was blown away. She was crying to me one day. I have her on video crying, because she loves cats. And so it's a beautiful thing. And I also like employing and using the local community and local businesses. Of course.
It just strengthens everyone. It strengthens everyone and brings everyone together. And Christi, you mentioned many of the other animal advocacy groups. They do such great work. Everyone has the same mission and vision. But I just want everyone to know that I've seen firsthand what you and Stray Cat Alliance does. I've met your volunteers who are out there picking up the strays and who are interacting with the community and the people. And I've seen befores and afters, and I hope that I want to encourage everyone to go pledge and get a team together to help the Stray Cat Alliance. And Christi, can you tell us a story? You mentioned some of your kitties' names, but can you tell us about Grace, or tell us one of their stories so we can hear what happened to that kitty cat?
Absolutely. So Grace was found in an alley. We don't really even know how old she was. She looked like she was 2 months old, but she was probably like 5 or 6 months old, malnourished, skin and bones, and they actually dumped her at our vet. And the vet said, would you take her on? And we did. And, one of our staff members who's just been amazing took her in. And it's been a lot of work to get her better. A lot of people, she's a throwaway kitten. People would say, don't spend money on her. You can just save 1,000 cats or whatever. But you know what? She was in our purview. She was part of our family. We weren't going to let her down. She actually has had a lot of medical issues that she is overcoming. She's FIV and FELV positive. And then later on, on, we found out she has a heart defect, but we have a fabulous cardiologist taking really good care of her. We have people, supporting Grace, and now she's like 4.5 pounds and thriving. And you can watch her on Facebook. We do videos all the time. She's got these big, beautiful, sad green eyes, and she embodies hope. She embodies change.
I love that.
She embodies like the ones that everyone else gives up on, but we don't.
Yes,
we
I
think
love
it's really
that.
important.
I love that.
And there's a lot. There's Piper and Prue, who are very sick little kittens that we help a woman in South LA, and she has a lot of cats, and we spayed and neutered like 50, and they were there, and we took them, and now they're like a year old, and they're living in a beautiful home in South Carolina. Kit, who was like so ill when we got him, he looked like an opossum. He had horrible mange, and he looked. And now he's gorgeous. He actually happens to live in Oklahoma. We found some great homes around the country. There's Petunia and Honey Bear. There's just so many that come, these beautiful stories of these hopeless creatures who, when so many people get behind them and so much love, that they just flourish. And
they have so much to give. They give back so much.
So much to give. And they just make people so happy. We get letters and emails all the time about these animals. How's Grace doing? We post all the time, but people want to know like every day. And then there's a ton of other cats that we've prevented from being ill. We've prevented from having litters. So,
exactly.
They never got to this point because Stray Cat Alliance was there to prevent.
Right. And Christi, earlier you mentioned the Long Beach Animal Care Services. I know they do so much good work down there. Super Smiley and I have been down there working with them as well. We've done some Super Smiley flash mobs down there and met all those people, and they are awesome. So tell us about the Long Beach Animal Care Services.
It's really exciting. The shelter director, allowed us to come in. We're in our second year of doing Return to Field. It's a program that is made possible by a very generous grant from the Found Animals Foundation, which is a fabulous foundation that is doing incredible work in California. And so what we do is cats that come in to the shelter that are strays that people are turning in. Most likely they're actually somebody's pet, or they're part of the community and they're healthy and they're in good body weight. We spay and neuter them, microchip them, vaccinate them, and we return them to where they came from and put door hangers and tell the community, listen, this cat is back. They're fixed, microchipped, vaccinated. They're part of a citywide program. They're not going to have babies. They're not going to be fighting, and et cetera. And if you have any questions, call us. We have a fabulous coordinator, full-time, actually 2 people doing that, and it's working out. We saved about 600 cats directly from the shelter last year. I think about.
Wow.
And then
Christi,
about 200 more interventions.
That is amazing.
About changing the landscape, because every year less and less are coming in. We're going to hopefully do 1,000 to 1,200 this year. And these are lives that are saved, and what's so exciting is that it actually lowers the population in years to come. They've been doing it in San Antonio, Texas. They've been doing it in San Jose, in Albuquerque, in Baltimore. Very, very successful return to field programs. Best Friends and PetSmart Charities have been amazing in really pioneering this.
And this is one of the things that I love. Also, Christi, not only are you here doing this here to a fabulous level, but other communities can take on this business model, not business model, but this action model, so to speak, and they can do it in their communities. And you already mentioned some that are doing that. You are working on just about every level possible for these cats. And as we said, it impacts people as well, because in my mind, like I know in yours also, animals and humans are deeply bonded. And I want to hear more about this bond, more about what we can do in our own lives when we come back on this Super Smiley Adventure. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
Remember when you swore you'd never get married, never have 4 bedrooms and a minivan, and never have...
Twins? We're having twins?
And then never happens and becomes the things you never want to be without. For all the nevers you now want to last forever, State Farm is there to help protect them with everything from life insurance to college savings and more. And that's the difference between just having insurance and having a State Farm agent. To find a State Farm agent near you, call 1-800-STATE-FARM or visit statefarm.com.
Hi, Jill. I see you and Bella are enjoying this lovely day as well.
It's a perfect day for a walk. Isn't that right, Bella?
What a colorful ID tag you have, Bella. It certainly puts my Rusty's boring engraved tag to shame.
Isn't it great? It's a dog tag art tag.
Dog tag art?
Yeah, dog tag art makes the world's coolest pet ID tags. Pick from hundreds of cute designs or upload your photos or artwork to create a unique tag of your own. They even give you 4 lines of text on the back of the tag for important contact information.
I love it! But do they hold up? We have to replace Rusty's metal tags so often because the information wears away.
Dog tag art tags are some of the highest quality pet tags out there. They're made with super durable stainless steel. Your information is always legible and the tags are guaranteed for life.
Well, I'm sold. Where can I get my dog tag art tag for Rusty?
Dogtagart.com.
Sounds great! We can't wait to get online and get a tag of our own.
Dogtagart.com. We keep best friends together. Use the coupon code RADIO for a 25% discount off any tag.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Jill Rappaport, and we are having a Super Smiley Adventure.
And we're back on a Super Smiley Adventure with the amazing Christi Metropole, the founder and executive director of Stray Cat Alliance. Christi, my last kitty cat was Toot Sweet the Travel Kitty. He came to me as a tiny kitten in a parking lot during an ice storm in North Carolina. Reminded me of the little kitten you were just talking about. And obviously, he'd been dumped there with skin and bones. And at the time, I was looking for a small travel dog to go with me as I flew back and forth hosting Animal Attractions TV. But as soon as I scooped him up, it was like a voice just said, "You just got a travel kitty." So, I knew, I know, it's so perfect. So I kept him, and he was my traveling companion and co-host of Animal Attractions for years. So here's my question. What should we do if we come across a litter of kittens or find a cat that's been abandoned? What do we do?
Well, that, such important information. So they aren't all the same. So one very critical piece of information we give people is people, out of the goodness of their hearts, they come across a litter of kittens and they think, oh my gosh, I've got to take them to the shelter. And that is absolutely the wrong thing to do because the vast majority of kittens that go to shelters are killed right away, little kittens. So when you come across a litter of kittens that look like they're healthy, like good body weight, maybe they're in a corner or under a building or whatever.
Right.
What we tell people, leave them there, put up water and food, probably the mom is coming back, and continue to check on them.
Okay.
And then if it's cold out, you take some rice and you put it in a sock and you put it in the microwave, and then you can put them in a box, and it's okay to touch them. The mother will not reject them. And you can put them in a box with a blanket, and she'll come. Make sure mama is fed well and has water, and the kittens are warm, and then watch what happens. And then we say, when they get to of age, if you want to adopt them out. Please get them spayed and neutered before you adopt them out, or if you want to keep them, or if you want them to be community cats, spay and neuter them. But don't take them to the shelter. If they're not in good body weight, though, if they're in distress, if they're screaming, and you know the mother hasn't been there in many hours, then that's a whole different ball game. There's a ton of videos on YouTube. In the middle of the night, you can go get some goat's milk. Don't get cow's milk. And you can feed them with an eyedropper, take them to the vet the next morning, and then we say network on Facebook. Take photos, or ask, if you're not on Facebook, to ask a friend and network and bottle them. Now that's if you believe the mother is not coming back, or the kittens are skinny, or they're flea anemic. Then they do need to go to the veterinarian. But we really ask that you don't, and I know people don't always have money for that, but reach out, because the shelter, unless it's one of the very few, very progressive shelters, which there are some, but the vast majority are not, and they're going to kill them, and they're probably not even going to tell you that they're going to kill them. 7 out of 10 cats that enter a California shelter will die. 70%.
7 out of 10 will die.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, but that's good to know. It's very, it's a sad statistic.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's good information for us to have.
Hopefully that's changing.
Yeah,
a lot of us are working for that.
You're making a change. Yeah, you are making a change, Chrissy. Well, I want you to repeat one thing. Did you say you take rice and put it in a sock? Could you explain that? Is that to keep them warm? It's like a little down blanket.
Take rice, uncooked rice, usually everybody has it, and you put it in a sock and you microwave it so that the rice becomes hot, but not too hot.
But like a little hot water bottle. It's like a little...
Exactly, but then it stays warm for a long time.
That's a great idea. And I have another question for you regarding people with their own personal cats. Dr. Jen, I love Dr. Jen. She's been on our show several times, and we invited her beautiful and powerful film to screen at the Kindness Film Festival, presented in Long Beach, as a matter of fact. We love the Long Beach folks down there. And her mission is to end cat decline. Can you talk to our listeners about your thoughts on decline? Tell us what we should do.
Well, I mean, I absolutely encourage everyone to go see the Paw Project movie.
Yeah.
It's incredible, and it's not gruesome. You can handle it. I mean, it's sad, but it's totally handleable. You see,
it's great.
Animation, but it will really open your eyes. If you think that declawing is okay, and you think that you watch this movie and you tell me, having, your bone and your entire top of your finger cut off is okay with you. And I'm a big supporter of the Paw Project. Dr. Jenny Conrad is really an amazing human being, and this has been her life's work. And I was at many of the city council meetings testifying to having the city of Santa Monica and Burbank and Culver City and Los Angeles make declawing illegal, and they did. Unfortunately, some things happened in the state, and they couldn't go on for a while to make the rest of the cities. But it is incredibly cruel, and for whatever reason, veterinarians are taught that it's no big deal, but it is a big deal. Do not declaw.
That's the bottom line. Don't
watch
declaw
that
your
movie.
kitty.
It'll explain everything.
And there's so many other things that can be done with behavioral modification. And Sweet the travel kitty, I used to just keep his claws trimmed, and then I would file them on the end, and they would be rounded like a person's fingernails. It was just that simple. It was so easy. It was crazy. And Christi, tell us about your cats and your doggies at home. What have you learned personally from your animals? Because as I always say, I know animals are healers and teachers. So what have they taught you that you can share with us?
Wow. That's so, Megan, that's amazing. Nobody ever has asked me that on an interview. Well, sadly, I lost my beautiful husky, Jasmine, last year, October 1st.
I'm sorry.
I got her from the South LA shelter.
Yeah.
She was one of the loves of my life. She had bone cancer, and then
I'm
my
so sorry.
soul cat, Alexander, got cancer, and 3 months later, I lost him, and my community cat, Agnes, died, and it's been really hard, and now my cat, Chloe.
Oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry.
And so what it's taught me is, resilience, and that my love for them and their love for me doesn't die, and that I feel them around me, and they're still part of my life, and a couple years earlier, my precious Flynn died, and, I mean, I don't know why I'm just so sorry. It's been the kind of year, but the resilience of them and the love, and I have to tell you a little secret. My favorite nights are when I'm home on the couch with my kitties and now I have my dog Lily, who's from the Baldwin Park shelter. She's 14, shepherd mix. And just being with them at home at quiet time, there's nothing that makes me happier than being with them. I would rather be with them than go to a fancy dinner or anything.
I agree a bazillion percent. I have, my horses are rescued. My horse was actually going to slaughter the very next day, and he was a 3-year-old purebred Arabian who'd been made dangerous from abuse. And when they got him out of the stall for me to ride, I didn't know that I'd made friends with him with his beautiful little face. When they got him out of the stall, he was all bones, and he had mange, so had no hair, and they threw him to the ground to saddle him. And it was just horrifying what I witnessed. But then I was the only one that could ride him because we'd made friends, and they were all treating him, it was just crazy. But anyway, I'm like you, Christi, in that way.
I want to meet him.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. His name is Starfire. But getting back to what you were saying, just sitting with them at night, if I can't sleep, he lives in my backyard, I just go out and put my head in his neck and just smell this beautiful horse and feel the grounded energy. So I am right there with you, Christi. And we here, our listeners, we have our own animals that we've adopted, maybe fostering, but back to the great big large picture, the big picture, we can each literally help save thousands of cats, and we can literally start working with you from anywhere in the country. So tell us again, how can we support you with this big campaign that you're doing? Tell everybody, please.
If people can go to straycatalliance.org and then click on the Saving Pets Challenge link and either support the team or become your own team member and get your friends to donate to your team that goes to Stray Cat Alliance, and it will help us help more cats like Grace and Kit and Piper and Prue, and we'll just continue to spay and neuter and treat medically, and we do adopt and foster, and we do it all, and we advocate for them, and that's, we do so much. And we only can do it. We can only do it with support of individuals out there. So we're grateful for $5. You know what? You don't have to be a millionaire. How about $5? That goes a long way.
It does go a long way in buying food and all kinds of supplies. And
Absolutely.
And Christi, this is so wonderful what you're doing. Again, I want to encourage everybody to support Stray Cat Alliance. Yay! And you mentioned Facebook. I just want to let everyone know that Smiley and I are on Facebook at Super Smiley and at Megan Blake. And again, I want to go back to Mark Winter, Out of Our Minds. I want to thank Mark Winter, Out of Our Minds Animation, for helping us create our amazing little film with a big message of planting the seeds of kindness and sharing kindness around the world. Everybody, please check it out.
I saw that film.
Did you?
So precious. It's so inspirational and heartwarming. I loved it.
Oh, thank you so much, Christi. Well, it was presented at the Animal Film Festival, so I want to thank all of them. And they work with the Center for Animal Protection and Education. And you'll love this, Christi, because they rescue all kinds of animals, cows, goats, pigs, and donkeys, and all the animals on our little film. It was shot at CAPE, the Center for Animal Protection and Education. And the actors that are at the beginning, they were the filmmakers at the Animal Film Festival. We thought we'd do a little intro from Smiley's original film, and we would just send it around the world. So that's what we're doing. And Christi, thank you for your support of our little film too, the Stray Cat Alliance. Thank you so much. We also want to thank Victoria Stillwell for supporting us, and our way cool sponsor, State Farm Insurance, and also Pet Partners. Pet Partners was the star of our show last week. So if you missed that, everybody, please go back and listen to that show, because they do so much great work around the human-animal bond. Are you familiar with Pet Partners, aren't you, Christi, the therapy dog group?
Oh, yes.
Yes, they are amazing. Yes. And Christi, Super Smiley and I are going to be seeing you this weekend at the Humane Society of the United States Gala, right?
Very excited. Yes, I will see you there.
Yes. Did you ever go to their Genesis Awards or see their Genesis Awards?
I did. They were I went many years.
They're amazing. Amazing. So we're going to be bringing you interviews from the red carpet with some of the world's leading animal advocates like Christi Metropole, and also the stars, the celebrities who are out to shine their light on the animals. I love that. Oh, Polly Perret, you'll like this, Christi. She said that when you're on the red carpet at the Genesis Awards, she loves it because if you don't have animal hair all over you, you're not cool. Isn't that funny? Here's another funny one like that. I was interviewing Jill Rappaport just at the Global Pet Expo a few months ago, and my microphone, my little recorder is like a microphone. It had my German Shepherd's hair sticking out of it, that long German Shepherd hair. And she's like, I love this. I've never been interviewed with a microphone that actually had dog hair stuck to it. So funny. So it's perfect. Okay, and back to Genesis. So we're gonna take some pictures there with Christi. So be sure to come to our show page here on Pet Life Radio, Super Smiley Adventure, to this show here with Christi to see some shots. It's gonna be an amazing little slideshow of Christi, her work, before and after pictures of her kitty cats, and we'll be there at the gala, the HSUS gala. And we're also gonna have Missy Woodward there with us. She's going with you to the gala, right, Christi?
She is. She's our director of development.
Yeah,
awesome,
we want to do a big shout out to Missy Woodward. Missy, thank you for all you do. Because Christi, it takes a village, it takes a team, it takes an army to get this done, doesn't it?
And not only does she do that for Stray Cat, but she's a trapper and has her own colony and feeds them, and she knows it in and out. All of the people who work for Stray Cat Alliance are like, we're all the real deal.
Absolutely. No, that's what I said because I've been to your galas and some of your events, and I've met your team. I just want everyone to know that they're the real deal, just like what Christi said. We love them. So Christi Metropole, thank you. Thank you for all you do for cats and for the world. So one more time, give us your webpage where we can go to help out thousands of kitties with Stray Cat Alliance.
So if you go to straycatalliance.org and you click on the Saving Pets Challenge link, it'll take you right to our CrowdRise Saving Pets Challenge. And if you are so inclined to donate, again, even $5 helps to our team, or you can create your own team and you can raise funds for Stray Cat. And we're really grateful if anyone who can do that, because we want to help more cats.
I love that. And without our amazing producer and the co-founder of Pet Life Radio, we wouldn't be here. So a huge super shout out and thank you to Mark Winter, our super producer. And thank you again to the wonderful, wonderful State Farm. I didn't even say this, but this is the truth. We really speak from our heart and we speak the truth here. And my car and my house, they're both insured by State Farm. So we love them on many, many levels. And a huge thank you again to Christi Metropole. Thank you, Christi.
Thank you, Megan. I really appreciate being on your show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And from all of us here on Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley Adventure, we hope you love all your adventures with your pets. And until next time, woof and super smiles.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
State Farm, this is Andrea.
Yeah, what if I get into an accident in, say, Accident, Arkansas?
Anywhere in the U.S., State Farm has you covered.
And if I hit the only tree in Lone Pine, California?
We'll send a tow truck right over.
What if I get dinged in Denton?
North Carolina or Texas?
Both.
Then we'll send 2 trucks.
Well played.
State Farm handles more claims than any other company. Over 35,000 per day. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM and get to a better state.